No, I couldn't tell you how many times I've been asked to help move.
Never, never, never die. 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 Never die.
All right. This is the Angry Dad. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate it. And before we get into today's podcast, I thank my podcast sponsors, Everyday Fit Life. If you're looking for a way to follow a plan, something step by step, a 1, 2, 3, a no-brainer to lose weight, feel great, get in shape. And if you're trying to get a strong body, lean and muscular, or you're just trying to get lean and toned, guess what? You get 30 days, 60 days, 90 days of programs. You follow the program, you rinse and repeat, and you'll get the results you want. That's Everyday Fit Life. You get code AngryDad at checkout for 20% off. The link is in the notes. Please check it out. And I got a guest, Austin Andrade. Let me tell you right now, this guy right here was 2003, won the Shaw Open to get to the strongest man on earth, the strongest Latino. You just was at fourth place at World's Strongest Man.
No.
Was it fourth place, World's Strongest Man? I believe that's what I read.
So 2024, I took 7th, and then this last year I didn't place.
Oh, you didn't place? Oh, I thought it said that, but that's my mistake. I thought ChatGPT failed me again. And then you did come in fourth at Strongest Man on Earth.
Yes, this was.
Yes, yeah. And goddamn, bro, you're hit, and you're about to hit all big shows this year, right?
Yeah.
Let me tell you right now, hey, the lifts, the records, the pushing. You know what I'm saying? One thing I love about doing this show is because I'm trying to highlight people that this is what you started doing and enjoying, right? And then all of a sudden you became a pro.
Out of nowhere, too, kind of. But yeah, no, I started this journey like 6 years ago, almost 7 years now. I don't even know if it was a journey. I just wanted to start lifting weights again. Lifting weights, playing football and wrestling in college. Well, I've been lifting weights since I was 12. My dad got me my first bench, or he handed down his bench to me, and I just always, like, my dad was always like, "You always want to be a strong guy. You always want to be a strong guy." So that kind of, I took to that, and being a bigger person too, that's the one thing that came easy to me was lifting weights. So, I mean, ever since I can remember, I've always been pushing weights, but I never really looked at strongman as like a avenue to pursue. Until one day I was like, man, I see those guys. Well, I can do that. I know I can do that. It doesn't look easy. I just know I'm capable of that. And then I was like, I'm just gonna start going to the gym. And then, luckily enough, there was a gym, Heavy Metal Heavy Metal Fitness was down the street from us at the time. We've moved since, but they had everything. Who was training there at the time when I went was Obrist. Obrist was like when he first moved to New Braunfels, was like again, like 6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
He would train out of Heavy Metal every now and then because they had all the stuff he needed. So you'd go in there, and then it's crazy because I was like, oh, like there's Obi, and I remember seeing him at World's Strongest Man like years before, like on TV, and I was like, well, okay, I guess I'm in the right spot, So we just started training, and one thing led to another, and you just kind of do. It was crazy. You just do, like, it was never this. I mean, it was always cool. We always looked at these dudes like, Brian Shaw, Eddie Hall, these guys as like, not saying I'm going to go compete against them, but it's like that was obviously a goal, but it wasn't like I was beating myself up every day because I wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
It was just like a goal out in the distance, and then you have to go through this processes of amateur, and then you got to go to nationals, and then you got to go to the Arnold, and then, but along with those steps of like going to each one of those shows, there is the good shows, there's the bad shows too. So like, I've lost a pro card because I was cocky one time on a wheelbarrow carry, and I looked over and I lost the wheelbarrow, and then you come back the next year, and so there's ups and downs to it, but eventually, you catch a break and you make it to these big shows, and then you kind of get thrown into the fire, and you're like, we'll see what happens. And at the end of the day, it's what's cool about the sport is just lifting weights. So, and I've been doing that for a long time. So, it's not like football where you're going against someone, or wrestling where you have to like know how to, like, I think there's a lot more anxiety in that because like you don't know what's going to happen. but a weight's not going to move unless you move it. And it's just fun for me. So at this point, it was really easy for me to like just go out and lift weights, even if there was 6,000 people, 7,000 people in front of me. It didn't matter. But yeah, no, here we are. Was it a week after Strongest Man on Earth and fourth place? I got a last year I took fifth, so this year I took fourth. I didn't have the first day that I wanted. It wasn't the there was three of the four events did not go well for me. I could have done a lot better, but I think I still ended day one in like sixth, seventh place.
Yeah.
And then day two was a much better day for me, and I walked away with fourth place. And I think it's crazy. Like even at the Arnold, I took fourth at the Arnold, and like right behind Hathor Bjornsson, and you're just like, it's right there. Like you could,
Yeah.
it's the podium's right there. Like the first place is right there. It's so tangible. It's like it's so close, but yet so far away. But and it's crazy. Like even from last year to this year, the amount of work and effort and nutrition, like I got on with Nathan Payton, and even more commitment I put into a sport,
Yeah.
and only got one place out of it. And I'm like, oh shit! Like if I want to get to number one, like I'm gonna have to four times that. I'm gonna have to five times that to get where I want. So it's encouraging in the sense that it's like it's there. I know what I have to do to do it, but it's like it's again it's right where I was 6 7 years ago, where it was like, you know it's what I want to be, and I just got to start chipping away at it.
And that's the thing too, is like you are chipping away, and just to get from a little bit more intensity, a little bit more dedication, and you got to that next level, that next spot up, and then understanding that you have it's there. This is the goal. This is what I got to do. It really sets the like how much intensity and preparation you're putting into this. Because like I said, it would at the top level you're at, to be at that level, you got to remember, like at that top 10, it's a lineup. You guys are on killer's row. You know what I'm saying? Like we even when we're talking about it, we talk about it a little lightly because you are amongst, and I'm right in the background for a lot of this, is you're amongst the greatest, and it's like like just everybody's just that good, and it's like
Oh
now I
yeah.
got to step it up.
Yeah, what is it like? What was it going into the chest press? There was a three-way tie for second place.
Yeah,
It was anyone's game. It really was like you can pick and choose. Like everyone's doing good, and then everyone was doing bad, and there was events that were just. I think that was such a crazy show and a fun show to watch, as not as a competitor, because you're like, oh shit, like what's going on, but I could tell like my wife was telling me like this was like the most fun show to watch, because you just don't know what's gonna happen.
yeah. Yeah, that was the entire show, because it was so back and forth. It's a rarity that you see you guys at your level make big mistakes, and those mistakes just shuffled the cards every time, and it was like, oh
Big
my god,
time.
what the fuck's gonna happen next?
Big time, big time. And then too, it's like those mistakes, like it's just like the NFL or the NBA, like those mistakes can cost you so much. Like even if it's something small, as in like this is how I grabbed the handle, or I picked this up this way. Now it took off half a second here. Like that, someone can get in between you and where you need to be, and then that's now you lost 2 points.
Yep,
And 2 points in this situation is like that's big. I mean, if you
that's
got
huge.
three
Half
people,
a point, half a
half a
point.
point, yeah,
Fuck, you know what I'm saying? It's like think about the was the final score. Everything was like within half a point of almost everybody in at the I think at the top. It
yeah.
was
I
like,
think yeah, Evan Lucas were a point, half a point away from each other. And then
yeah,
I know there was between me and Tom, there was I want to say 6 point difference. I mean, I
yeah,
don't know, but it was quite a bit where I knew if I had a good day one and a good day two, that would have been a lot closer. I think I would have been on the podium. But yeah, it is what it is, kind of thing.
yeah,
But yeah, that's how close it is. And then too, like you just don't know. You just don't know. And then
yeah,
you're going into each event, and you just got to give it your all. That's what's so cool. What's so cool about it now is like I think, like I said this in my little interview with Shaw, is like, I think the top level is like leveled out. The top end, like you said, the top
Yeah,
10 is
that's it.
leveled out to where it's like it's anyone's show any day. And
That's it.
Evan came out on top, and I'm proud of him, man. It's awesome. Like, you know, when I came into sport, he was really welcoming to me. So just to him finally win his first major show was, and to be there and witnessing it was cool. And I'm proud of
Exactly.
him for doing that.
Yeah, no, that's definitely, and to see the evolution that he's gone through for the last couple of years to actually getting that title. I was like, all right, well deserved, well fought, well earned. Because
Yeah.
god damn it, this show was ridiculously heavy.
Yeah, I know my back's still feeling the yoke from
That
from
yoke
Sunday.
was nasty.
Oh, hey, when I finished that, I tell you what, I was just as surprised as the crowd was.
Yeah. Hey, well, let me tell you, no, as heavy as that was, and you were smooth all the way through. I was like, God fucking damn, like, what are we watching here?
Yeah, no, it was. I was even I didn't even pick it up when he said go. Like I was like when he started competitor ready to go, and I was like, oh shit, this is gonna be a big one. So, and then it was like 2 seconds in, I finally picked it up, and I just remember moving my feet. And I'm all right, I'm good, I'm good. And then I was like, oh shit, there's a finish line. Oh, I'm almost there. Yeah, no, that was a because the heaviest I went in training was like 1200,
Yeah,
and then to throw another 200 pounds, and I think I went 1200 for like 10 feet, and I was like, I looked at my coach, I was like, oh shit, like
yeah,
this is, I don't know, man. This is like once you get over like 1100 pounds, each little bit that you put
oh,
on is becomes exponentially
oh,
heavier. Like
yeah,
it's not
yeah.
even like adding pounds. It's like way harder than it was before.
And also too, like you remember, we're talking about over 1,000 pounds. Most people in their lives can't even comprehend the weight of 1,000 pounds on them. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like in strongman level, you know what I'm saying? 1,000 pound yoke should be almost baseline.
Hmm.
But for the average person to even consider, like even 800 pounds on your neck for somebody who doesn't train, doesn't do nothing, is like weight crushing. Like
Astronomical.
it's,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's just, it's insane. And then like just like you're talking about at 1,200 pounds, anything extra over that, I was like, oh, just consider 1,200 pounds the level that I need to be at, and so that's normal. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Most people ain't having that conversation.
No, that's kind of how the show was too. Like when we got the rules, when we saw the weights, um, because I trained with Nick Guardione and then Tim Ingram, my coach at Owner Heavy Metal. Like we've been to two worlds now. We've been to the Arnold. We've been around the. I wouldn't say we've been around the block, but we've been on the street for a quick second,
Yeah.
and we're looking at the weights, and Tim was like, "Damn, bro, they don't give y'all no breaks." Like he was looking at the weights, and bro, like this yoke could be 1,400 pounds. Like they're starting, like your log press has to start at 380 because that's
Yep.
just the log empty.
That's it.
Like
Uh,
like people brag about putting, what is it, that 400 bench,
yeah.
like, oh yeah, I benched 400 in high school. It's like, oh, we're doing it over our heads
Yeah, exactly.
next week.
That's what we're starting. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we just to get into the game, we got to lift this.
No, yeah, for real.
Oh yeah,
It
but
was,
hey, Shaw puts on a hell of a show, and god
yeah.
damn it, man, it was insane. The crowd had intensity there too. That was one of those things.
It, I say it all the time. I mean, it's cool. It's in an arena too. Like the closest I've gotten to that kind of feel was at a Giants Live in the UK.
Yeah,
Um, they, I do have to say those UK fans are familiar with the sport too. So like
yeah,
sometimes when you come out to these USA shows, people don't know when to cheer or clap or
yeah,
something like that. But like, Shaw puts on a show, and it's real strongman fans that come out here, and it's loud. There's some points where, especially right after the lift, like you can't hear nothing. Like it's so loud in there. And
yeah.
then too, like it being an arena and everyone's just on top of you, it's sick.
That's it.
It But it's fun. It's
Yeah,
I live for it too, man. I don't know, like because I played offensive line my whole life, and I was a heavyweight, so like no, like when offensive line we never get celebrated. We're like it's like the AC. It's like if the
Yeah,
AC goes out, that's the only time people are gonna know that you did
that's
bad, right?
it.
And like heavyweight, no one really stayed until the last matches, so that the crowd would be dwindling down by the time I got on the mat, and then
Yep,
finally it's like a sport where the big dude celebrated,
that's
and then it's
it.
like now I can finally do celebrations, and now I can finally like yell and scream and so like I'm a ham to it, man. I love it when I get the energy from the crowd. I just like feeding off of it and yelling boom and
That's it. Yeah, that the theatrical part of it is just one of the best parts because, like I said, when you can celebrate those goddamn fucking lifts, because
oh shit,
like I said, we're seeing insane numbers getting pushed, and it's just like for the average person who doesn't really understand strength sports or just kind of like like half in half out, like there's no understanding, but it's like the effort that it took to get to your level is just one of those things that is the funnest part for me to watch because like I said, it just as a fan, someone who watches, someone who's always on the sideline, every time I see an incredible feat of strength, it's like fuck, like yeah,
it's cool as a competitor too. Like I know my limit, so there's only certain events that I'll like really like I won't tell people or like I kind of hold my hand on some stuff in terms of like what numbers I'm gonna do. But like when it came to the log press, like you had Trey and Lucas, it was kind of a battle between them. And as a fan, you're just like, I just as a fan of sport, I was like, man, I can't wait to see someone press 500.
I
It's
think
like,
it's there. I think it's there.
yeah. Unfortunately, that T-shirt thing with Trey like slipping, um, because he couldn't get on that clean. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, I definitely think. I mean, that's crazy. Is they broke? I think who broke? Did one of them break the
Yeah,
record with the opening
Lucas
lift?
broke the record. You know what I'm saying? He crushed it right there. I think it
Yeah,
was like
yeah. So,
490, 495, something like that.
and I don't think it got celebrated enough because everyone was expecting a world record.
Yeah.
Like that's what kind of level of pressing he's on.
Yeah. No, no, 100%. He made it look so easy on his last lift for Lucas, and I was just like, "Oh, he's got more in the tank."
Yeah,
But the
yeah,
thing is, he's
yeah.
I'm still in a show. I can't.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I can't go all out on one. Yeah, but
Yeah,
yeah, no, for sure. I think he could have pressed a 500. Um, I know Trey. I know Trey could have if he got that clean.
oh yeah,
It just sucks. Like sometimes, like if we just had like an extra temp, or if some of these equipment
yeah.
malfunctions didn't count against us, I think bigger weight. But again, at the end of the day, that's part of the game too. So like,
Exactly. It's the rules. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And that's the thing too, is like even at a show like this, the strategy and the mindset level you have to compete in strongman is something that has to be there because if you do not have the strategy, the understanding of when to push it, when not to push it, and just knowing how to etch it out to get that because like I said, you still have to have reserves because goddamn you just beat your body up for 2 days.
yeah, yeah. Those could. Well, that brings me up to like this good point. Like American Strongman, when I came up through nationals and the Arnold, all that kind of stuff. Like I really didn't know how to game. I didn't know how to game. It was just like, oh, this is fun. I'm gonna go lift, and every event I'm gonna go all out, and whatever happens, happens, kind of thing. And I think that mindset took me a long way. But at this level now, like if you're not gaming, if you're not playing the game, you can lose big points. Um, you can make mistakes in the sense of like going too hard in one area and not pushing enough in one area, or yeah, like even if someone does 4 reps and you go and do 8 reps, you just did 4 reps for 1 point for what reason, right? So
Exactly.
you got to learn how to game at this level, and I think this last show really taught me a lot with that because like I said, not having a good day one, where day two I was like, damn, if I'm gonna make something of this, I gotta figure it, like I gotta game this a little bit. I gotta actually play the points. I gotta, um, you know, not just go lift everything because expect day two was way heavier than day one.
Yeah.
Um, that I kind of and then end up in fourth place. Like I just like, damn, okay, I played the game a little bit more, and it kind of opened my eyes a little bit more to the that side of the sport. And I learned that a lot with the Canadians, dude. Like those Canadians, I don't think some people realize like how much they compete throughout the year. Like they
Well,
have
they
their
got a
circuit of
circuit out there. Yeah, they
yeah,
got a
yeah.
circuit out there.
And the first time I ever went against a Canadian was at the Shaw Open. in 2022,
Yeah.
2022, and I was like, oh yeah, no big deal, Canadians, whatever. I don't know. Well, I'm gonna
Yeah.
say I didn't know who they were. I just really, I think everyone just kind of go into the same mindset. But these dudes, like, statically, I don't really like. They're like, they weren't these big, like, these big barrel chested American dudes that are walking in like how me and Lucas look like
Yeah.
big old marshmallows sometimes walking into a room, and Trey, we're like the size of two fridges. And
Yeah, that's
there's these
it.
Canadians that are just like, they're ripped, rocked up dudes, and they're not statically, they're not like gonna push records, but like on those moving events, if you're not with them, they're gonna smoke you.
Under they're quick. They're
Yeah,
quick.
they're strong, they're fast, and so it's just like, how is someone moving that fast with that much weight? It's nuts to me. And that's when I learned about the Canadians. And then um, I remember they would go back and they would talk about like the points, and they were like, "Oh, I'm sitting here. Where are you sitting? Okay, I just got to get this point here. I got to get this point." And they would sit and talk and game and see, okay, this next event I can do this. This event I can do this. Whatever. And I never saw that side of the sport until then. And then, not that I like really like dive deep into it at the time. I should have. I should have like started figuring out then. But um, 2023 come back, and it's the same thing. Is they're that's just how they compete, and they're competing almost. It seems like they compete every weekend,
Yeah.
to where their reps, like their time under tension in competition, is so much that they have time to like get comfortable in that competition mindset where they can like sit and, oh wow, I can do this, I can do this. It turns into a chess match to them, which is kind
Yep.
of cool to see.
Yeah, no, that's definitely it. Because like, like I said, I'm always with Nick Best, and for
Hmm.
those who listen, if you see videos, I podcast, do everything with Nick, and the mindset level that I've learned from him on like how the points work. Because like we have conversations while we're watching shows, and he's like, he needs to do this. He needs, like he's literally laying out blueprints for every
Hmm.
competitor in the points fashion. I don't even know where he's getting the points from because I'm literally with him. He just knows what the
Yeah.
hell's going on at all freaking times. And he's literally laying out strategies for everybody. And this is just conversation between us while we're sitting down enjoying the show.
Hmm.
And he's like, if this guy does this, then this is going to happen. If this guy does it, what I'm saying? Like, it's hilarious
Yeah.
because like he comes from, because like Nick's in his group and in his bracket, that when he was competing, he was the smaller guy.
Yeah.
And so being in the size, the condition he was like, he had to learn that aspect really quick to keep himself relevant in
Hmm.
training. And it's just like, and just talking and strategizing with him and understanding how it works, it's like, god damn, I was like, that's how important it is, for those
Yeah.
who are, new to strongman, and those who want to
Hmm.
watch strongman. It's like it's being so in tune with that, and being relaxed with it, and being, because like I said, one of the things he always says is when you're competing, you're sitting down, you're not doing nothing, you're resting and recovering, but also too, you're also strategizing, but
Hmm.
also understanding how to strategize without putting mental stress on yourself.
Yeah.
Because all
You,
that comes into play.
yeah, and that comes with reps. That comes with reps at it, because it's like, when you first get into something like that, like I don't know if anxiety is the right word for it, but like you start like you start thinking about all that stuff, and then you start working yourself up, and you're like,
Yep.
oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, and then if it doesn't go to plan, plan A, plan B don't go to plan, and you didn't even think about plan C, and now you're stuck in a situation you don't know what to do, and now you're like, nothing's really working. But yeah, you gotta, it's reps at that high
Yep.
level. Like, I think, man, I think the most shows I've done in my whole career might be close to like 20, 25. There's some dudes
Yeah.
that have done that in 1 year,
Yeah.
and there's a big difference when I'm talking to them versus like how I think of the sport sometimes, of like, just how they see this, like you're saying, how they see
Yeah.
the scores, and you're just like, man, well, like, shit, I gotta actually get on top of my shit, because these dudes are really like, they'll know how to they'll sneak a point on you here, there, and
Yep.
then at the end of the show, you're like, well, how the hell is he in third?
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There's so much there. Like I said, strongman is not just about being strong. You got to be mentally strong,
Hmm.
physically tough. You got to have the endurance. It's one of the most well-rounded sports that requires so much attention, and yet you guys are all big. Almost, not every strongman's over 300 pounds, but god damn it, to be that big and
Yeah,
still move the way you guys have to move, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It's
man.
insane.
The That's funny to talk about. Like, I think for this show, I got back up to 400 pounds. But we're all. It's funny because, like, I guess I'm around Nick a lot. My family's bigger people, but I get around, I guess, quote unquote, normal people,
Yeah.
and then they're like, "Oh, you're so big," and it's like, that's crazy. So, like, I don't see myself as a big person, and if I start seeing myself as a big person, I think I would slow down even more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, like, you want to put that stigma on yourself. Oh, I'm this big, big dude.
Yeah.
I have supposed to do, but like, even when I played football, like, um, I always called myself the short, scrappy Mexican, like, because I played center, and both my guards were 6'4", and then my tackles were like 6'5", 6'7", just giant dudes, and I'm sitting here at 6'2", and I'm the short one, and so I took on this persona of like being the scrappy one of like, if I'm gonna hold my own against these big dudes, I got to really put on, right. So like I was always that guy that was maybe giving a little extra after the whistle, or uh, blocking a lot harder than I needed to, because I had this mindset of like, you're not the big dude on the field. Like, if you're gonna like Nick, like you said, he like, to make himself relevant, he had to think about the sport a different way, and that's
Yep.
how I thought about football. I was like, man, if I'm gonna keep this starting spot, I got to push a little bit more. I got to push a little bit more. Um, but yeah, it was and then I keep that same mindset in strongman. It's even more now because when I did that walkout last year and Bjornsson was right next to me, I was just
Yeah.
like, oh shit.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? He makes me feel small.
No, no kid.
Yeah.
And then Brian too. It's
Oh
funny
yeah.
because like like it's his whole life he's been that, right.
Yeah.
And so like when he's trying to be very welcoming, comforting to people. So I already know like he kind of bends down and you
Yeah.
shake your hand, and he talks to you. You're like, man, stand up when you're talking to me. Like, you're making me feel like,
So I'm not that small.
yeah, for real. But it's because he just wants, and then he puts his arm around you. You're like, come on, man, I'm a man.
Oh yeah, no, because I'm at 6'5", 300 pounds, and it's like, god damn, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's the only time I actually feel normal when I
Right.
get to hang out with everybody. It's like, oh shit, yeah, I don't even notice it.
We like, and then we all have the same problems too, right? So it's
Yeah.
like you finally feel like a normal person for once. Like, okay, everyone's dealing with this. All right, some of us can't tie our shoe and bend over.
That's it. We all need to sit down and breathe.
Yeah,
You
right.
know what I'm saying? Oh,
Uh,
yeah, it's fucking it's always fun. I always enjoy it too because, like I said, it's the one time because like even around the house around here, I don't leave my house too often, but when I do go shopping and stuff like that, we always have eyes on us. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
I'm not pro nothing. I'm just a fucking huge dude covered in tattoos, so I'm
mhm.
just being looked at all times. But when I get to be around you guys, I actually don't feel muscular. I feel like I'm an average sized person. I feel like, you know what I'm saying? No eyes are on me, so it's all good.
Now I can blend in finally. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
Exactly.
funny. That's funny. That's, I know. I started getting a bunch of tattoos lately. This is all my prize money has gone to my skin.
That's it.
But now that I'm like, because I didn't get my first tattoo until I was like, I want to say 26, 27,
Oh
28.
yeah, you
So
started real late.
I started, well, so I grew up, part of my family's Mexican and my other half's white. So I'm this mix of
Same here.
like, and so my grandfather on my Mexican side, old school Mexican dude, like no tattoos, like just hardcore old school. And I finally got his blessing a long, like, couple years ago before I got it. And I got my dad. My dad didn't really care. He's like, "It's your body. I don't pay your bills. Like, you go do your own thing, right? I don't care
Exactly.
what you do with your body." But even being like a mid-20s, like graduated college, my grandpa would still be like, "You come to my house with a tattoo, I'm gonna cut it off."
That's my mom too.
Right. So like, and then too, like, my grandma was the same. My grandma wouldn't say anything, but she would just like, she would look away from it. She didn't really want to see it. But I grew up in that. So I finally, once I got his blessing, my dad was cool. I started getting tattoos, and I was like, and then too, like their whole life, everyone's like, they hurt so bad, they hurt so bad. And I mean, there's some that suck, but you're just, you can sit through it. But yeah, I
Yeah.
started getting all these tattoos, and I really go into research what I put on my body, and I'm only gonna
Oh, yeah.
put what.
You have to.
But yeah, no kidding. Especially now I'm older. I'm glad I started later in that sense too, because no telling what 18-year-old Austin would have put on his body.
Oh
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
it's just how it goes. It's how it goes. When I was 14, my mom gave me $50 for my birthday and said, "Just get lost." So I did. I got the typical Mexican tattoo. I got my last name across my back.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, and I came home, woke her up because she told me the same thing. I'll cut that motherfucker off and make you eat it. And I showed it to her. She was like, oh, "Okay," and she went back to sleep. So I was like, "All right, cool. I'm good. I'm sleeping in bed. Just sleeping on my stomach." And then in the morning,
Ooh,
she was like, "That's what you fucking get."
ooh, I bet that felt great.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh
it
yeah, yeah.
was. Oh my god, it was so bad.
Well, yeah, no, it's just, and then being a big dude, and then you got tattoos, and it's funny because like I, I got my hair slicked back. I know I got a beard. I got
Oh yeah,
tattoos. Everyone, and then two, half the time my face looks mean, and it's just because that's just my face. But I'm not a mean person. I don't
no,
think, right? I'm just, but yeah, you start walking around the grocery store and you're looking like this. People are like, "Oh shit,
exactly, exactly.
this dude gonna kick my ass or what?"
You know
But
what I'm saying?
no, I don't want to fight no one.
Yeah, because I got no problems. I'm just trying to get some goddamn beef and chicken here.
Right, right. It's like I don't think people realize too. It's funny because I think we get like stuck with the stigma, like we're big, these big dudes, like we want to fight all the time.
Yeah,
It's like I remember, like, because I bounced a lot growing up after college.
yeah.
I always remember like the guys I had the most issue with were the smaller dudes.
Oh yeah,
Those are the dudes that always want to fight. And then it's like if a big guy wanted to pop off, you would just sit and talk to him and be like,
yeah.
"Look, bro, I know you don't want to waste energy, and I don't want to waste energy because if me and you get into it, we ain't gonna be, we're gonna need oxygen tanks.
Exactly.
Like one of us might have a heart attack. So it's just how about we? And then we're like, cool. So like big dudes have the time, like oh, if we really have to get into it, it's because we really had to get into it. But
Exactly.
for the most part, it's like, man, I don't want to waste my energy.
Exactly. I do not want to do this. Please don't make me. You know what I'm saying? But it always is the smaller guy because they always feel like they got to prove something that they're the big
Mm.
guy. It's, they get people have those small man complexes. It's like, no, you're the only one who feels like that. Nobody but
Yeah, for real. Like,
yeah,
bro, hey,
exactly.
you're good.
You're good. You know what I'm saying? You're the better man. Walk the fuck away.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
Because
funny.
I do not want to pick you up and throw you across the room.
Don't make me do. Yeah, don't want to really embarrass you, and I don't want to do that.
Exactly. I definitely understand that feeling because like I had my growth spurt when I was 10 years old, brother. I was 5'11 already, 200 pounds.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I was a freaking monster as a kid, and so I've had to, since the middle school all the way to high school. I was just that big fucking adult person going to high school. You know what I'm saying? Full beard, full mustache. Everyone's like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" I'm like, "No, I'm 14. I just started." So
Hey, did you have a truck growing
not
up,
no truck. I literally live four blocks away from school, so I
bro?
always walk.
You're lucky. So I had a truck. Being this size and a truck, and people think they're friends with you. They think they have a mover as a friend.
Oh my god!
No, I couldn't tell you how many times I've been asked to help move, like
Oh
because I'm like, well, you have a truck, we can put it in the back of your truck, and I'm like, who's we?
yeah, exactly, exactly.
I was like, it sounds like you
Oh,
have the problem that I don't want to
oh
move.
yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah,
Now I'm always that first person called too, but I'm like I said, I'm much older, brother. So I'm at the age where I'm like, don't call me to ask you to help you move.
yeah, yeah,
Don't ask me to help you move a fucking couch. And I don't want pizza and beer.
yeah, for
I'm
real.
not. Yeah,
Hey,
exactly.
we gotta, hey, as big dudes, we gotta get together and start working on these market prices here on this moving.
For
It's-
real.
we, 'cause we had it hasn't escalated from the inflation on pizza and beer has not gone up the way it needs to be
Yeah.
in terms of dollar amount money that needs to be
A
today.
moving house. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? We need a fair, equitable fucking amount here. Because
For real, yeah. Oh,
uh,
just get the pizza and beer. What? No,
no, no,
that's not going to be enough.
exactly. For 12 hours? No. and I know I'm going to be doing all the lifting? No.
Yeah, and then you're gonna get to a house and nothing's packed.
Yeah, nothing. Hey, all right. My oldest son, I've moved him twice. And the first time he's like, Dad, I'm already packed. I already got the rental truck. All you got to do is come over and help me move. Because it's my son. I'm like, all right, cool. I will come help you. I grab my other son. We go down there and we get down there. Not a goddamn thing packed. Not a goddamn thing moved. The house is dirty. I'm like, oh my fuck. Like, this is all right. I literally grabbed everything, threw it in the truck, moved them. And I told him, I was like, look, I will never do this again. I ended up doing it one more time, but I told him at
That's
that point, I was like, you have friends now. I'm too old for this fucking shit.
that's how you got your podcast name.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's funny, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Like it's just like, oh my God. I'm like, I'm much too old for this fucking shit. But that's how it fucking goes.
That's good. That's funny. That's funny.
Oh,
That's how my pops is too, man. He's like I think I want to say just put it on just Mexicans, but I think it's just that generation too. But like,
yeah.
you know, I feel like I had a different upbringing because of that, and I'm so happy for it. Like on today, there's dudes that can't even put a screw in a wall,
Oh, yeah.
and I think it all translated from from my life to sports and why I was able to do well in sports because my dad was like, "We'll figure it out."
Yeah.
He would just tell you, "So, dude, figure it out." Like, and you come back 3 or 4 times, don't figure it out, then I'll go help you. But
Yep.
you got to figure shit out on your own. Like, and so like all the time too, and then he had to come help you out. He wasn't gonna be nice about it,
Not at all.
and so like you're just like, "Fuck, man, I better figure this shit out because I don't want because if he comes over here, he's gonna start yelling at me." And I don't want that, and then he's gonna start calling me stupid. I'm like, God
Yep.
damn, all right. Hey, so you figure shit out real quick.
Real quick. Yeah, no, that's the exact same thing. I was like, I've always had to like, all right, fixing cars, putting things together, repairing sheetrock, fucking,
Hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Just everything and anything that needed to be done. Kids have it better nowadays because they can literally just YouTube it. But there
Oh,
was a good portion of our lives where it was just like,
how?
how? You know what I'm saying? Like, all right,
Yeah.
let me think about this. And also too, it gives you this other perspective of like working around it. You get to figure out how to do it without the right fucking shit because that's what ends up happening a lot of the fucking times.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You just, or how many times you've made it trip to Home Depot to fix something, and you come back and you're like, damn it, I knew I forgot something.
That's it.
And you're like, well,
Oh,
maybe I can make this work. Maybe I can make this work. And then you end
exactly.
up doing it, and then you fuck it up even more than it needed to be.
Yeah. Now it requires more work.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey,
Oh.
that I'm certified YouTube University, man.
Hey, man, there's a lot of us that are certified YouTube University. Like I learned so many things growing up on how to do it. Now I'm so lazy where I'm like, all right, let me just YouTube it before I even consider doing anything right now to
Hmm.
see if I have everything or if I need to do something else.
Right? Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's funny. Like that reminds me of what my grandpa said too, because like my grandpa was a truck driver, and he used to drive trucks for migrant workers. Like he would bring watermelons and pickles from uh, Michigan
Yeah.
down to San Antonio, and I mean I can only imagine back in the day, dude. Like even that, like something broke down in your truck, that's your
Oh,
money.
yeah, that's
So
it.
you're on the side of the road fixing stuff. So when I remember one time, I'm a high schooler and I have this old F-150, 92 F-150, and I think something's missing. One of the pistons is missing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a kid. I don't really know what I'm doing, and plus I don't have cash to fix this.
Yeah.
And he came for like a football game because this is when I was living in Arizona and they live here in San Antonio.
Yeah.
And he was into the truck more than 2 seconds. Already diagnosed the truck.
Yeah.
He already knew what was wrong with it. And then he's like, all right, well, we went to the gas station, but we ended up making a stop at O'Reilly's. And then I remember one of the plugs was stuck,
Yeah.
and I was having a hard time getting it out. And he was looking at me like, it wasn't born there.
Yeah.
Like, bro, figure it out, get that shit out of there. And so it's funny. I mean, use that to like weightlifting, kind of like that mindset for weightlifting too. Because it's like, man, that shit ain't gonna lift it unless you lift it. You know what I mean? Like, figure it out. There's a lot of stuff you're just gonna have to dig deep for.
Yeah.
You're just and from pulling a simple plug out of a engine to doing a log press. I think there's a lot of that. Like I was just like, like, shit, it wasn't born there. I could, I'm a man. I could move it. I'm gonna move it.
That's it.
So it's. I mean, I think that's a lot of more of my lifting or my, I don't know, motivation or what word it is, but
Well, it's
um,
inspiration right there because it's
yeah,
like, yeah,
inspiration.
yeah, because you got to really think about that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you have to be inspired to lift these kind of weights. And the thing is, it's like, no, it's possible. I
Hmm.
just got to come at it at the right angle. And through all the
Yeah,
trials and tribulations you've gone through, shit, you could see all the angles.
yeah, 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 yeah. No, it's a. Yeah, I just remember, and then too, like I hate failing lifts, right? And that's part of our training at heavy metals. We don't put ourselves in a situation where we're going to fail a lift. With the numbers that we call or the setups, like we do like more of a conjugate style chaining with like
Yeah.
chains and bands, and where we don't really know the number on the bar,
Yeah.
because it's always changing and whatever the stimulus you're doing is. But uh, you know, we don't ever want to put ourselves in a situation to fail. One, not only because we don't want to teach our body to fail, but two, like our mental side of things.
Yeah.
Like when I messed up on the log at let's see, at Smo, I did the first attempt. I cleaned it, I missed it, I dropped it, took a step back, and I was like, man, I got to get this. Like, how am I gonna do? So I stepped back up, waited 20 seconds, waited until it's 20 seconds on the clock,
Yeah.
when I hit it, right? And I get back and I'm like, everyone wants to offer advice, right? Everyone's
Yeah.
like, hey, you need to do this, you need to do this. I'm like, just give me a sec, let me try to figure this
Yep.
out. And then Ortmeyer actually, he comes up to me and he goes, hey man, what's going on? I was like, man, I'm having a hard time finding my balance in here. Because it's the same thing, like I would say all the time, like basketball players like shooting in an arena versus shooting in the gym.
Yeah.
It's two different things. So that was totally my situation. I would get here. It wasn't a strength issue. I was just pressing. I was pressing out, and so the log would get out in front of me, and I would lose my balance, or
Yeah.
I just wasn't in the right spot. And then so I'm telling Ortmeyer this, and Ortmeyer being Ortmeyer, and same as Nick, they've been around
Yeah.
a block a few times, right?
Yeah.
He was like, "Hey man, like, all right." So he's back there. He's like, "All right, stand on one leg, close your eyes, center your leg, 20 seconds." And then he was telling me, "All right, go do the other leg. All right, now open your eyes." He says, I need to get your, I don't know what he said, but he said, I need to get your brain, your body awareness. I need to get your body where it is. And so I went out and I did, well, no, take it back. I came back for my second attempt, and that's when he asked, because I failed my second attempt.
Yeah.
And he was, what's going on? And I was like, man, all this shit. And then anyways, he's like, all right, let's do this. And Ortmeyer is such a good dude. Like he had this thing set up. He bought a stopwatch to make sure my 20 seconds on one foot was exact.
Yep.
And then he was like, all right, now I want you to pick a spot in the room or on the ceiling that you're going to be looking at, and I want you to touch the tip of your knee. So like do a high knee, and then touch your kneecap, but you have to hit in the same exact spot every time. And so you do that. He said do that like 10, 15 times, and you'll be ready to go. And so I was like, all right, no man, I got to do this. Like I'm at this point, I'm like, I need to do something
Yeah.
because nothing's working for me. So I do that, and then I go out there to what I missed the second time for my third attempt, and I smoke it on the first attempt.
Hmm.
And then so I came back, and I was like, I was, I wasn't pissed, but it was more like a to the people that wanted to offer advice. Like, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to, oh, just box jump, or oh, it's like, give me a sec, right?
Yeah.
Like, let me figure it out. But um, in the back, and I was like, someone told me to wake up. I think that's what pissed me off. I'm
Yeah.
like, bro, I'm the strongest man on earth.
Yeah.
I'm fucking awake. Believe me, I'm awake. Like if there's one event I'm awake for, it's this one. Like I'm right
Yeah.
now, I'm present. I'm just something's not happening right with my body. And when I smoke it, I came back and I remember coming through the thing and I was like, I fucking told you. And I threw my belt.
Yep.
and then I ended up bending the buckle on my belt, which wasn't smart.
Oh.
But it was just all that emotion came out, and I was just like, it's like I knew what I had to do it, and luckily Ormar helped me figure it out. But it was just like sometimes you just like there's just so much coming at you, especially in that moment. Everyone, and what's what's cool about the guys back there, like everyone I think this group of guys that competed at Strongest Man on Earth was probably the best group of guys to do it, because I never like it felt like all 16 guys versus the weights.
Yep.
It didn't feel like we were going against each other. Like it felt like we wanted to. If you were gonna beat me, you were gonna beat me at my best. If I was gonna beat you, I wanted you to. You're gonna be at your very best. So when I beat you, there's no excuse for saying, "Oh, you were stronger than me that day," or this or that. You know what I mean? So that was like the best group of guys to compete with, because it was. There's no animosity. There was
Yep.
no like. I mean, you're gonna get in your little
Oh yeah, yeah. No, no.
your
You're gonna
your
go the back and
gaming,
forth, but
but it wasn't like it wasn't at the end of that. At the end of the 2 days, I don't know, but I can't speak for other people, but I felt just like I felt afterwards. We were just like, damn, bro, we just got through the heaviest show ever. Not hey, I beat you at the heaviest show ever. It doesn't feel like that. It felt like
yeah,
we got through this kind of thing, and it was a cool experience, man. It was really like humbling, and I hope more of that situation happens more, because I think it also didn't put on for a good show too.
yeah. It
So
definitely did because the energy and you know, it's the one. This is the one thing I love about strongman because since I've been immersed into it, the brotherhood and love that everyone has for each other competing. Because like with most sports, a lot of people get arrogant, a lot of people have a big head, and no one wants to have fun. But when you guys are back there, you know what I'm saying? You guys are all in your own little camps gathered together, you know, preparing for each event, but at the same time, there's a lot of back and forth of fun. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing.
yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah,
So you know, when it's game time, it's game time. But in between those moments, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's having back and forth and enjoying themselves. That's
yeah.
the best part.
No, it's yeah. No, I mean it's cool because every time we go to these shows, it's like a new opportunity to go lift with my friends, kind of thing.
Yep.
And I'm lucky enough to like lift with Nick, like he's my training partner. So we've been lifting together for the last 6 years, and like the way we are at competitions is the same way we are at the gym. Like when it's time to turn it on, we're gonna turn it on,
Yep.
and then but in between, like we're at the gym. Like I always say, it's like working out is such a luxury, really. Like you could be having to pay the bills and working, construction till 9 o'clock at night, come home, wake up at 4, do the same damn thing every day,
Yep.
just to put food on the table, pay the light kind of thing. But it's such a unique situation and a blessing that I have a job that's allowed me to compete. I have a training partner that shows up at the gym at the same time as me. Like everything's fallen in perfect to where like my coach and my wife and everything's so supportive. And even on Nick's side of things too, like he's just got it's just crazy how the stars have aligned for us to like really work out together. And then I was always remember like the fact that we get to work out, like you know what I mean, like that's such a blessing. So we're always like if we're in the gym, it's never like it's fun. Why
Yeah.
this isn't have to be work. We don't have to be here.
Yep.
Like this is a time to this is our time. This is our time when we're in our 30s. You know what I mean? Like our body's not going to be able to do this for a long time. So let's enjoy it now. While we're here and enjoy each other, enjoy the brotherhood, the camaraderie, the lifting weights. Because in 10, 20 years, we still might have that brotherhood camaraderie, but the weights aren't going to be moving like they used to.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
it's a I truly, it's like a blessing to really. And then two, I wanted to, like, when I was doing this thing, is just to make sure I take a step back every now and then and realize what the situation is and really enjoy it. Because I think sometimes you can get caught up in it so much, like where you're like looking for the next goal, or then I got to get this title, and then you spent this whole year focusing on this title, and say you come up short, now you just wasted your whole year of your life, and like being pissed off and not like you know doing, like, you're lifting weights, bro. You're doing what you love. And
Yep.
so appreciate it like that and enjoy it like that, because you're not gonna it's not gonna happen. Like, you don't know how many years you're gonna have that. So no, it's badass, man.
Yeah.
I truly appreciate, and then just to be able to talk to you on a podcast. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy to me that I'm sharing kind of my journey too as a weightlifter, um, and hopefully to inspire someone too, really to you know, um, just enjoy weightlifting because I look at weightlifting as like an art form. I mean, you can get caught up in the percentages and the numbers and blah 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 all this crap, but I enjoy art. I used to play music for a long time, and then I grew up in an artist family, so my grandma was an artist, and so I like taking this approach of like you never know what's going to happen, you never know where this lift's going to take you, so like be in the moment and enjoy it as it's happening because you never know what the outcome's going to be, and the outcome could be beautiful, or it could be dog shit. Sometimes that's what happens, but that's part of the process.
Yeah, it's a great perspective to have because you need that. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to be able to step back, see the bigger picture, see the complete art form, and also understand where you're coming from and ground yourself.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times you forget what you have done and it doesn't help you add to your future. That's one of those things, you know what I'm saying? Like it's an accomplishment, you move on. It's like, no, I reminisce, I enjoy, I learned, and I can grow from that. And then you get to that next level, you get to that next portion. And then also understanding that this is an art form, this is a technique, this is something that not everyone else can do or have lined up. And it's like this most beautiful feeling when you can actually see somebody enjoy what they're doing, love what they're doing, and that passion they show for it. And and here's the thing: you're the new breed of people coming in that's going to inspire the next breed of
Hmm.
the next generation coming in to this sport. Because, like I said, when I grew up, I was watching Magnuson, Phil Fister, Nick
Hmm.
Best, Brian Shaw, Big Z, and then now this younger generation that's going to see you guys come on TV, going to see you on ESPN, going to look through YouTube, see that social media, and they're going to see you. You came from here. That's where I'm from. If he can do it, I can do it. And
Yeah, yeah.
I'm inspired. You know what I'm saying? Because here's the thing is you're going to be at those meet and greets and you're going to see these young kids come in and be like in awe, shock and awe. And it's
Hmm.
like that's the rock star portion that, we don't talk too often about, but we get to enjoy.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, it's crazy, and then too, it's like I really, what I appreciate too, and seeing that and being those meet and greets is when you start seeing the same kind of person show up, that same dude that you saw at the last show, and they look
Mhm.
a little bit bigger, and you're like, it's like that's inspiring in itself too. So like, hell yeah, that dude gets it. Like, he's this dude is. I want. I don't like using the word all in,
Yeah.
but like he's putting himself in the best situation, in my opinion, to get where he wants to be. So like he's following those footsteps that I did to, to get to this next level, and as an athlete, we notice that too. And then two is like sometimes it's like, oh, in the next 2 or 3 years, that you might be competing against that dude.
Yeah.
I mean that happened with me. My first pro that I ever went against was Bobby Thompson,
Yeah.
and I went against him at the Beer Stone. It was a pro am down in the valley in down Brownsville area,
Yeah.
Texas. And it's crazy because he just retired from Strongman. So, but he was a big inspiration for me because at the time I was coming up, he won the Arnold Amateur,
Yeah.
and he was one of those dudes that he won the Arnold Amateur, and I was like, man, I could do that. It's like I could see myself doing that. I'm not too far from that, and so like I would be following him, and then he would do his, like he would go to this next show, and he podium at the Arnold, and you're just like, oh, that's again, it's something I can do, and then sure enough, I catch myself at a pro am with him, right,
Yeah.
and it never was like, oh, for me, it's never like I said, it's not a combat sport, so like I'm never like gunning for someone,
Yeah.
but it's like I wanna push myself to see if I can. I'm not necessarily, well, obviously beat him. That's the goal,
Yeah.
right? But I don't want to use that word. I want to
Like
see
keep
if,
up. Like,
yeah, yeah, keep up, or say what I've been working for, if it's really on track to doing what they're doing, right?
exactly.
And I ended up taking second to that show, and he won it. And I was like, and I got my pro card that year, and it was the first time I met him. And it's funny because Bobby's Bobby, and if you ever
Yeah.
met Bobby, um, he's very straightforward.
Yep.
He doesn't really joke a lot. Like well, it's not that he don't want to joke. It's just the kind of his personality. But um, he can throw a joke every now and then. I'm not saying that he's just total asshole or whatever. But
No, I've hung out with Bobby plenty of times.
but you know what I'm saying. So and the first thing he ever said to me was, "Damn, you're fat." So every is I love it because it's every time I see Bobby, the first comment he says to me is something to do with my weight, and it's hilarious because the first couple times it was like, "Dude, like you're getting up there, you need to chill out." But this last couple times I see him, he's like, "Hey, Smash, you've been losing weight. You're looking good, man. You're looking good." So so we're finally coming around, but um, it was just one of those situations. Like I'm saying, like he started seeing me pop up around, and he's like, "Oh shit, here's this dude." And I'm already kind of noticing what some of the amateurs that are coming up is like. Oh, I'm seeing these guys come around a lot more. It's like, and you're young. I mean, in terms of weightlifting, mid-20s in football is like old, but in
Yeah.
weightlifting, you're still a baby.
Yeah.
And so, like, I'm looking at these kids. I say kids are in the mid-20s. I'm looking at these
They
kids,
are
and
kids.
yeah, and I'm like, man, you figure it out. You're gonna be a problem, And I'm gonna have to deal with you in a couple years when my body's gonna start being on the decline. So, luckily I'm learning how to game, right
That's it.
right now because that's how I'm gonna have to sneak you on these. And then Bobby's done that to me several times. You know what I mean? Like, um, the dude snuck wins on me because he just knew how to, beat me in these little things here and there.
That's it. Little
Um,
tips and tricks.
but it's I just yeah, it's like we notice as athletes, and it's inspiring in itself to kind of see like amateurs come as well because like there's a change in the guard every 10 years. There's going to be a new change in the guard. You're going to have your outliers, obviously. There's
That's
Brian
it.
Shaw's competed
Yeah.
forever. He's just got the
Years.
size
Yeah.
for it. But there's these group of guys that will go in and out, and if you want to be a part of that, you got to seize your opportunity.
Yep.
And when that opportunity is given to you, you better start lifting. You know what I mean? You better start showing up and lift some weights. Like that's what happened to me after World Strongest Latino.
Yeah.
So I won this title 23, and um, this was like when Gabe Pena was. This is when Gabe Pena was. He just did two worlds,
Yeah.
and he was representing Mexico. And I remember reaching out to the. I just reached out to the promoter. I didn't. There was no invite. There was
Yeah.
no. I was like, hey, bud, I'm Mexican, or I've been called Mexican my whole life. I'm Latino. Like,
That's it.
can I do this show? And he's like, and I showed him a bunch of my lifts. I said, I'm definitely strong enough to do it. Like, I think I can win it, whatever. And he was, okay, cool, but you can't represent the United States. And I was like, all right, well, easy. I mean, I can represent Mexico. I got family from Mexico.
Yeah.
That's where we come from, kind of thing.
That's it.
And he goes, all right, cool. We'll see you in a couple weeks or in a couple months. And so I'll go and I win that show, and it was a Strongman Champions League show. And then um, a month later, we had the Shaw Classic, this one, and I won that one. And it kind of put me on the map in terms of like, how amateur Arnold,
Yeah.
and then you have this one was kind of new,
Yeah. It was just
and then
starting.
you had OSG,
Yep.
and then the way the weights are at Shaw's show, like they're legit.
Yeah.
That was kind of like, okay, this guy just won an SCL show. He just won this show. He's legit. They gave me a 2-week call up to go to the deadlift championships in Wales.
Yeah.
And it totally felt like the getting called up from the minors
Yeah.
kind of thing. Because I remember getting this phone call and it was like plus 44, a whole bunch of
Yeah.
different
It's
numbers,
a
right?
scam. I'm not answering it.
And I was like, all right, answer it right. So, before one of my buddies reached out to me and says, "Hey, Laws wants your number,"
Yeah.
and I've never talked to Laws before.
Yeah.
Um, but I was like, okay, yo, here, like, I was like, something might come of this, whatever. And then it was like the next day, I get this phone call, and it's like all clicking me, and I answer it, and I was like, hello, and he goes, "Hey, Austin, this is Colin Bryce," and I was like, oh, he goes, I
Oh,
don't know if you know me. And I was like, oh, yeah, I fucking know you.
yeah, exactly.
And he's like, bro, we want you to come up to Wales in 2 weeks and compete at the deadlift championship. Because at this Shaw Classic
Yeah,
or Strongest Man on Earth, was it
it's Shaw
Strongest Man on Earth?
Classic.
Whatever. But the pro show,
Yeah.
um, Adam Bishop tore his pec,
Oh,
and so he was gonna he was
yeah,
aiming to pull 500, so he had to drop out of that show.
yeah,
There was another two guys that had to drop out, whatever. But they called me up. They called up Evans Nana, and they called up oh man, I can mess up his name. He's a Polish guy. Anyways,
Pablo.
no,
No, not
no, no, no.
Pablo.
Damn. I hope he doesn't hear this because he's he's a good
He'll be
dude.
fine. He'll be
I
fine.
just, bro, I know, I just don't know how to say his name, and I don't want to ruin it because that'd be messed up.
Well, we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. But we came up and they invited us to the show, so it was my first Giants Live, right? And on 2 weeks, and it was a deadlift championships. This is the show that Eddie pulled 517 or whatever,
Yeah,
and it's like all this lore is around. I'm like, oh shit! Like here I am and now I'm in a different country. I got
yeah,
no coach. I got my wife wasn't there. It was such short notice,
yeah,
and here I'm by myself, and it's just like I'm saying to us, like seize your opportunity. And the first events, the deadlift, obviously, and the most I deadlifted at the time was 860,
yeah,
which was the year before at the online qualifier for this show. We never trained our max deadlift the whole year, so I don't know what my max deadlift is, or I'm just going off 860. The opener for that show is 880.
damn.
So just to start the show off, I got to pull a PR,
Yeah,
and everyone has suits. Like in America, we don't lift in
yeah.
suits,
Not every.
obviously.
Yeah, yeah. That's a European thing.
That's a European thing, and especially Shaw. Shaw's not going to let you use figure eights.
Yep.
Shaw's not going to let you use a suit. Like if you're going to lift that, that's 100% on you. Like even to like he's like you can wear a cuff, but it can't be around the elbow. Like the dude's been around the sport. He knows how to cheat things.
Yep.
I want to say he knows how to cheat things. He just knows how people can get a little extra advantage out of their equipment,
Exactly.
and he wants to see raw strength. So like this is where I'm coming from, and I don't know shit. Like I said, I'm still just lifting for fun, and I'm the first person to lift, and we do the walkout and everything, and like they're like, all right, you have time to pull one more warm up after the walkouts. And I remember Rob Kearney was there, and him and his husband Joy are the coolest dudes in the
Yeah.
world too. Like
Very
nicest,
nice.
very nice people, and he was another dude that I met at a show. He was commentating. I was loading. I was like, hey man, I'm going to compete with you one day. And then lo and behold, 2 years later, I am right. But I said, hey bro, watch this 800. I need you to. And I said, no matter how this moves, I need you to tell me that 880 is going to move.
Yeah.
And so I go and I strap in. I hit it right, and he goes, oh bro, you're good. And I kind of looked at him like, are you saying that to say that? And he goes, no, man, for real, you're good, you're good. And as soon as I dropped the weight, they're like, Andrade, you're up. And that's when everything sunk. I was like, oh shit. I was like, can you give me like 5 minutes? I just pulled 800. I was like, I need a little. So like I'm walking to the front like slow as hell.
Yeah.
And I get to the front and I see the crowd of people, right? And I see the lights and the camera, and I was like, oh shit, oh shit. And I remember I turned around and told Laws, I was like, is there water? Is there any water up here? I started like freaking out, right? And so Laws ran back, got me some water real quick. And as soon as I kind of popped it open, I drank a little sip. They're like, you got to go now, Andrade. I was like, oh, shit. So I'm walking out there and I'm like, oh, here it goes, right? And it's crazy because, like, you're looking out at the crowd and you see Magnus and you see Darren Sadler and you see
Yep.
the cameras, you see the lights. And I was just like, oh, shit, well, here it is, man. Like, this is what you asked for.
That's it.
It's like, get in, Strongman, bro. Like, come on, get in it. So I strap in. I ripped that shit so fast, like it was a speed rep.
Hell yeah.
And I hit it. I remember I hit it, and this is where that boom comes from that I do. But I hit it, and I was so excited. And then they gave me the down call. Well, I thought they did, and I dropped it. And later, Colin was like, "Did you hold it long enough?" And I was like, "Well, fuck, I think I did." And it's like, "Well, they still gave it to me, right?" And but I dropped it and I got up and I was boom, right? That's when the boom started. And the boom more came out of like not like excitement for the lift, but it came out of like more of like a fuck you kind of type of thing. Like I
Hell
told
yeah.
you I could do it.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why I say boom. But now it's more for the crowd and get the crowd into it.
Hell
I
yeah.
appreciate that. But and then I was so excited. I'm walking off and I don't like at the time I don't realize how much cameras are on you.
Yeah.
And then so
Especially
like
those
now,
shows.
yeah, now that I've learned that, I've learned to keep my mouth shut sometimes. But I'm walking off and I'm like, damn, that fucking move fast, right? And I'm like all hyped. And like my grandma watches this stuff, right? And I gotta remember, like, man, why I gotta be careful what I say. I don't want to piss her off, right? Like she knows I do all that shit, whatever, but
Oh yeah.
I would just be a little respectful, right? And so I walked off and I remember looking at laws, I was like, do I go for the next one? And the next attempt was no. Yeah, the next attempt was 950
Yeah.
or 430 kilos. And I'm all hopped up and mind you, they're saying kilos, so I have no clue
No,
what the
yeah, exactly. So I'm from America.
yeah, and so I think that helped me in the long run because I was like, I pull 400, I'm gonna pull 430, so that's only 30 more pounds.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's not
It's
that much more.
it's easy, right?
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
done that before, and so same thing again. But at that time, I finally I got my confidence right, and then I pulled the 930, the nine or 430, 950,
yeah,
and I pulled it. I remember getting to the top, and I was like, oh shit, like I just really pulled this without a suit because everyone was all suited up, and then I dropped it, and I did this to the crowd.
yep.
I was like, no suit, right?
No suit.
And I walked off, and I was like, what the hell am I doing, bro? This isn't me. Like I'm like this is the first time my characters really come out in a show,
Yeah,
and I was like, fuck it, I'll just play with it. But I remember that's when I was walking off and calling Bryce goes like, dang, that guy's got some serious power. And I remember him saying that, and then ever since then I got like I think him seeing me compete is what kind of trickled everything because the next year I got my world's invite,
yeah,
and then I made it to the finals, and then I went to Smo, took fourth. Like
yeah,
everything started trickling there, and it was just me seizing the moment and just going out having fun and really lifting because that was the opportunity. In hindsight, now I look back at it like how many more Giants live invites would I have gotten for sure after that?
yeah,
There's guaranteed none,
yeah,
right? So like here I am put up with these three other rookies, Evan Nana and the Polish guy, and obviously Evan's done what he's done through
yeah.
Strongman Champions League and made his statement and whatnot. But like, I mean, I had to do it for myself, and
Yep.
I think that was that moment where it was like, you're given this moment, make the most of it, and you never know what's going to happen of it, right? So, it was a long winded story, but that was that moment where I think kind of really 23, where it's kind of flipped on me, where it's like, all right, welcome to the pros, buddy,
That's
and
it.
you got to compete.
You stepped up, you hit the challenge, and god damn it, you made an impression. And that's the whole thing. That's one of those things I love is when you can inspire yourself, inspire others, and just see that transformation come out because it's like that's the most impressive part because like I said it's like you went from just starting to at the top of the game, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And it's like it's just I love these stories. I love talking about it and I love sharing these things, and it's just like I said, it's just something that I enjoy. And god damn it, I just loved hearing that deadlift story because it was just like fuck, I did that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, it was man. Oh, bro, I just always remember. And these are stories I'm gonna live for forever. You know what I mean?
That's it.
And I think that's a cool part too about it in the whole art form of the show because I never knew I was gonna go to Wales. I never knew I was gonna deadlift that day. I just went out and I did it, and now I have these memories for it.
That's
And it's the
it.
same thing with art. Like when you play music, especially because I grew up, I played orchestra music. I was in a jazz band in high school and everything. And like once I got into jazz, it all traditional stuff got thrown out the window, and it was like, bro, just play, just
Yeah.
jam out, have fun. And I remember being jam sessions where you're just like, some of the best music I've ever played was never recorded, and it was in a room, with my best buddies kind of thing. And I like, if it wasn't for those times, I wouldn't have those memories with those guys. And same thing here. It's like, if it wasn't for these times, I wouldn't have these memories I would be talking about on a podcast.
Exactly.
So it's cool.
Well, brother, I appreciate your time coming on the show and sharing these memories and these moments with me. For everyone who's listening, let them know where to find you.
Yeah. So Smash Andrade on Instagram, Austin Andrade on Facebook. And then if you want to go check out our YouTube channel, me and my training partner, Nate Guardion, we have our YouTube, the Texas Boys Strongman 11. So check us out. We're gonna get some more videos up soon, but you can see our training sessions from Worlds and the Arnold, and just kind of see our character and how much of goofballs we are.
And I'll put all those information in the links so you guys can just check it right there in the show notes. Click a link and go check them out. And thank you guys for listening. If you want to watch my shit, YouTube, you want to listen to it, Spreaker, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, SoundCloud, Deezer, iHeartRadio. This motherfucker's everywhere. You can easily fucking find it. Rate, review, like, subscribe, all that fucking bullshit. It really helps me out. I'm also part of the Inner Circle Podcast Network, a group of powerful podcasters out there sharing their shit. That is innercirclepn.com. Check it everyone on our websites, everyone on our shows. We have the shows as The Plunge, Failing Hollywood, Simmons and More, The Untrained Eye, The Hood Diner. Shit happens when you party naked, so make sure you check it the fuck out. And I'll see y'all motherfuckers on the next one. Fuck.
Always living, always living, always living, always living, always living, always living.